Hello everybody and welcome to Skyforge. I am very excited to be bringing this to you today. For those of you that don't know, Skyforge is an MMO that is currently in development. It is supposedly going to be launching later on this year as a free-to-play game, but this is made by the same people behind Allods Online, which is to date probably my favorite MMO I've ever played. Whether it be pay-to-play or free-to-play. It's just a phenomenal game, so really expecting a lot out of this. And I am in the closed beta test, which is currently in phase 2. So that being said, I'm going to warn you ahead of time, we are in phase 2 of a closed beta test, which is still very, very early, and there's a lot of stuff in the game that is either missing entirely or just not complete yet. So don't judge too harshly. There's a lot of stuff that's going to change. Particularly, you might notice the voice acting is terrible, but that is something that they've actually come out and specifically said, look, we know the voice acting is bad, but we're going to replace it all. It's the stuff that's in there is temporary. Anyways, there are some other limitations, of course, as well. Quite a few, in fact, but we'll kind of come to those as we go. Starting it up here. Now, one thing you're going to notice right off the bat is I don't get to choose a character to log in as. This is because I've already made a character, and for whatever reason, they've just chosen a single character type. So this is my character. Unfortunately, I did not know that there was only a one character limitation, so I kind of made this character and then was stuck with it. So that also being said, I won't be able to show you guys character customization right now. It's pretty standard as far as most MMOs go. You know, your standard options. It is a little bit limited right now. I wanted to go with a red hair color on my lady here, but they only had this two-tone color thing for red hair, so that was a bit annoying. So I was a bit irritated with the character customization, but overall it wasn't too bad. And also, most all the characters look kind of slutty, at least as far as the ladies go. I actually went out of my way to try to make her not look slutty, and she still looks kind of slutty. So even my chest size is relatively moderate, not very high. But anyways, one of the things that was cool about the character customization was your run. You can actually choose between the debutante, arms flailing at sides, dainty kind of running style, or a very militaristic, stomping as you run along the way style. And there's a slider that lets you just kind of choose a morph somewhere in between the two of them, which was very, very cool, I thought. So I kind of chose somewhere around the middle, so I'm not completely masculine in my run, but I'm not, you know, the Paris Hilton of MMOs. So you may notice, though, the visuals here, very cool looking. I really, really like this background setup they've got. It reminds me a lot of Phantasy Star Online. So one thing you'll see very, very clearly, very quickly, is the game's got a lot going for it visually, aside from the slightly slutty characters. And it looks like they haven't yet adjusted boob physics to be less than jello. Some people were complaining in the forums. Even though they love boobs, they say the boob physics in this are a little ridiculous. You wobble around like there's no tomorrow. You'll probably see some of that as we go, but I don't want to dwell on it. Anyways, so like I said, you only get the one character. That being the case, though, don't worry about getting locked into a class. You can change your class as you please. I can do it right now, as a matter of fact. I've got these. I am currently a paladin. I can just click on this and zoom out a little bit here. Poof, I'm no longer a paladin, I'm a cryomancer now. And if I want to go back, I can just change back. So you can do that whenever you want. You could be out in the middle of a level and you can swap your classes as you please. So that is pretty cool, and it kind of takes away a lot of the sting of being limited to one character, although I still kind of wish I'd been notified that there was a one character limit before I made my character. So again, sorry, not going to be able to show you the personalization, but if you've played an MMO before, you're probably going to be pretty familiar with how it works. Yeah, I guess I'll just give you a quick look at the classes themselves. You saw here there's the Light Bender. There we go. In fact, let's swap out. Not only can you change your class at any time, you can also change your style. I'm going to switch to the class costumes, just so that you can see how they look. So, this is the Light Binder. It's basically the priest class of the game. So you're going to be doing a lot more support magic. You're going to be doing things that heal, that kind of stuff. You do have attacks, but they're generally fairly limited. A lot of them are those two-tone kind of attacks, though, where you can target an ally and it heals them, and if you target an enemy, it damages them. So it's a little bit interesting, but yeah, there's those wobbles. You can you don't have to worry too much about not being able to just target ally or enemy and just heal and play the class that way if you like. There's also the Paladin class, which is my class of choice, at least as of yet. I've only got the first 3 basic classes unlocked as of yet. There's a lot more classes available than these, and if you buy into the beta, you get access to the Gunner and Berserker classes in addition to the first 3 if you buy the higher tiers of beta entry. So I'm sticking to the lower tier here, and I'll just unlock the classes as I go. Which is another point. You can unlock any of the classes in the game. You don't have to buy the higher tiers to get those classes. You can still unlock them. So we've got the Paladin here. This is, of course, your more tanky class. Does a decent amount of damage, but not super high. It's mostly there to take the punishment and keep it off of the enemies. Or off of your allies, I mean, sorry. Keep your enemies' attention off your allies. There we go. Then you've got your Cryomancer. This is your mage type damage dealing class. Mostly ranged, a little bit frail, pretty easy to get killed, but you've got your dodges and ranged magic damage, which is pretty high. So in addition to these 3 classes, they have also got the Berserker, as I mentioned before, and the Gunner classes. Those are both DPS classes. One is melee DPS, one is another ranged DPS class. There is also the Archer, Necromancer, Slayer, and Kinetic, and those are all 4 classes that they've just added with the new beta phase that just started, phase 2. And as of yet, I don't really know how they work. I imagine the Archer is probably a ranged DPS class. Necromancer is probably some kind of hybrid damage dealing healing class. Kinetic, I don't know really what to think that's going to be. And Slayer is probably also a DPS class, possibly a like assassin type or something. I'm not sure. So can't really give you much information on those classes because I don't have them unlocked yet. But rest assured, you can unlock all of those in progressing through the game. What else? There's more classes that are planned, but as of yet, I can't really say how many classes there are and all of that are planned. There's quite a few, so you're gonna have a very wide range of things that you can try out. And of course, once you've got them unlocked, you can just freely switch to them. Yeah, so that's how classes and things work. That's how you make your character, at least as far as what I was able to tell you about it. So let's take a look at the world and see what we've got here. So this is where you're actually going to start off the game, at least right now. This is the research facility. And really, there's not a whole lot of stuff here. That you're going to see some quests and things pop up, which I've already done. So you don't have to, you're not going to have to suffer through all that stuff. But the one notable thing that is in the research facility here is the testing lab, or testing hall, I believe they call it. Training hall, sorry, I was off. And the training hall is not really anything amazing. It's a virtual fighting facility. You can come in here and you'll see all of your classes that you've got unlocked, and you can just come up here and press space, and it will start your training program for that class. One of the cool things with this is that you are able to try out your class at its full power. So with all of the abilities unlocked, you get to test out and see what, you know, later game you'd be able to do with that class. Another thing that's really cool about the testing facility is that once you complete one of these training missions, you will unlock the costume for that class that you can wear as you please. So you can play as another class and still wear the costume for a different class if you choose. Now, I'm not going to stick around in here for too long. I've already gone through and done all the trainings for these 3 classes. And, so I don't have to worry about doing this, but there it goes. That is the training in a nutshell. So you can come in here and just beat around on some baddies, try out using some of the higher level skills, and you know, just try stuff out. But when you're done here, you can just leave. So again, research facility, but there are currently 2 other areas that are, shall we say, social areas. There's the park and the observatory, so we'll check out the park. Here we are at the park, and this is another one of those areas where the game really starts to show off how good it looks. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Now, like the research lab, there's not a whole lot you can really do at the park right now. It's pretty limited to coming over here and checking on your followers. The more powerful you become and the more missions you do and things, the more followers you get. And the followers, basically, right now, as far as I know, they just give you rewards. Kind of a big thank you, pat on the back. And you're going to see some of the lovely voice acting here.
You are filling your people with the light of faith. Accept this modest gift from those who are truly grateful.
And what did I get? Ah, 6,500 credits. Cool. Not that I needed that, but cool. So there you go. That's about all you can really do at the park right now, except for look around and go, "Oh, it's so pretty." Yeah, wasn't really planning on playing a female, but here I am playing a female because I clicked on the create button without realizing that I was going to be stuck to it. Oh well. There is no difference in terms of stats or anything like that between male and female. It's all cosmetic, but oh well. Ladies are generally more pretty than their guy counterparts, but Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. So, last up, we're going to take a look at the Divine Observatory. This is where you're going to be spending the majority of your game time, at least if you're in the social worlds. Or areas. Social areas. Now, there's, of course, a lot more areas in the game that are there for missions and such. And you'll be spending most of your game time in those. But if you're in town, so to speak, you'll probably spend most of your time here at the Divine Observatory. Why? Well, because this is where you actually go out on missions. So, this is Herida. She gives you a lot of quest stuff. You're going to talk to her a lot over the course of the game. I don't really have anything to say to her right now. But here there are information panels. There's a lot of quest people here. It's an observatory, but it kind of looks like a giant library. And then down here is where you can view the planet of Alon. Or Alon? It tends to lag a lot here because, as you can see, there are a ton of people here, and they've got a ton of effects going on around this planet. But we'll come up here. And this is where you depart out on missions. And you just choose which mission you want to go on from this interface. It's pretty straightforward. Capital is where we are right now. They have these squad missions. Squad missions are ones that you can go out on either solo or with other people. If I click on this one, for example, gives you a little description, tells you about how long it'll take on average, tells you your reward, difficulty, all that kind of stuff, how many suggested people. And then you might see some of these things down here that say battle. These are PvP fights. An arena. So if you're into PvP, you can pop in here and play PvP rounds for rewards. Now you may be wondering why some of these have green icons, some of them have this Z, some of them have red and blue icons, and there's even some other icons too. Those are your rewards for completing those missions, and that ties into how you progress with your character, which I'll go into here. So we'll back out of that for now and kind of walk up here where it's not quite so laggy. Here's good. Okay, so character progression. How does this work? Levels and all that kind of stuff. First off, there are no levels in this game. You do not level up in the traditional sense, which I think is fantastic. From what I've seen of it, it works really, really well, and I rather like it. I'm kind of a fan. So, instead of levels, what you get is this prestige ranking. And your prestige ranking is a system that is basically your rank goes higher based on the gear you're wearing, the number of abilities and things that you've got unlocked in your character progression, all of these little things. Basically anything that powers you up or buffs you up a little bit will contribute a bit to your prestige. So your prestige rating is basically the equivalent of how powerful your character is overall. And so since it's a combination of all of these different things, it kind of gives a little bit better picture, I think, of what your character is capable of, as opposed to a standard level format, because I could be level 30 but wearing absolute crap gear, and for level like 5 players, and go in and do a mission and be absolutely terrible because I have terrible gear. But with this prestige system, the way they've got it set up is this is a pretty accurate rating of what my character is capable of. If I have crappy gear, my prestige score is going to go down. If I have really, really great gear, it's going to go up. So I don't have to worry about leveling up to a certain, arbitrary amount in order to go and do something or to be in a group. I just need to have competence and decent enough gear to get up to that point. And so, there's no hindrance on your gear as well. If you get a great piece of gear, you've got a great piece of gear. Put that thing on. You don't have to worry about, oh, I don't meet the level requirement for it, and blah, 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 blah. So, pretty cool system how they've got that set up. Now, gonna go in here and look at our character abilities, talents. Here are our stats. The stats are pretty commonplace, and all of them have a little mouse over thing that tells you exactly what it does. So I am not going to go into detail on these. So, you can look at that stuff when you're playing the game. It's not really a huge deal. Not going to spend time on that. Your talents over here are things that you can unlock that modify different abilities that you've got. Now you have to unlock all of these. And the ones that I've got unlocked right now are Rage of Light, which modifies my Seal of Light ability, and Execution modifier as well. And you can equip those as you please. So you unlock slots as you go, and you will unlock the abilities as you go. Meeting different requirements or doing different missions will unlock those for you. And you will have this with all of your different classes. And as you can see, I can just switch between the classes by hitting the appropriate button on the side here. Although I'm still technically a paladin until I hit the change class button. Your bag is your bag. I mean, you've seen this in pretty much any MMO or any game ever that has an inventory. Whatever, you got your stuff in here. You'll get some little bonuses here that give you sparks, which I'll go into in a moment. But those require prestige. This progressively is able to be opened again and again and again. The more prestige that you get, the more times you can open it. Trophies are basically junk, you just sell them. Enhancement stones are used to power up your character in a different way, and then these are basically healing items. You don't have a huge inventory, but you don't really need it because you're probably going to be breaking down any extra items that you get into these enhancement stones. Those enhancement stones are used for this little thing here that lets you upgrade your character in a specific direction. In this case here, it would give me a bonus to my stamina if I upgrade this, and it costs me a few credits and those enhancement stones. So I don't have enough right now, but if I did, I would just hit this and it would start upgrading. So it's not super easy to get all that stuff. You just need to constantly, burn down your gear and disassemble it. Equipping stuff, pretty straightforward. And, again, if you've played an MMO before, then you probably know what's going on here. So I'm not going to go into that much. I don't have any extra gear anyways right now to equip. Oops. I just unequipped my ring, and as you can see, my prestige score dropped. If I put it back on, it went back up. So there again, you can see the prestige score immediately is compensating for me being an idiot and taking my rings off before running out into combat. Let's see, what else have we got here? We've seen the style room. This is where you just change your character's appearance. Change your clothes, earrings. I've got earrings on, right? There we go. You can change the color of it. All of this stuff just at will. Change my headwear. If I don't like my head, I can hide it. Put on a hood that just totally doesn't match. Get a little kind of piratey looking hat here. Military cap. Cute hat. Or the class headwear, which there isn't one. Yeah, we'll go with this. This looks cool. Masks and glasses. Same deal. If we want any of this, put it on. Change the colors. Woohoo! So, pretty straightforward. Again, you can change this whenever you want. Not going to spend any more time on it than that. We'll do that. And having done that, poof, now this is what my character looks like. Hey. The main way that you're going to be improving your character and progressing aside from gear is going to be via this. This is the Ascension Atlas. And it is a map of different skills that you can unlock. This is where you will unlock abilities. It's where you will unlock little power-ups and all of that kind of stuff for your character. So you can see here the gold is where I've progressed, and it stops up here where I have not yet unlocked. And this is quite large. I've unlocked that much, but I'm not super far into the game. There is a lot more to unlock. So I'm not even quite a quarter of the way yet. But this is where you will start customizing your character. And right now this is a pretty linear path. I imagine it'll be subject to change in the future. But once you get down here, it does branch off a little bit, and you can customize your character a bit more. Now, how this works is you may have noticed earlier the mission rewards had those little cubes showing the spark rewards. You've got the red ones, Sparks of Destruction, green ones, Sparks of Creation, and the blue ones, Sparks of Balance. And all of that ties into this Ascension Atlas. So, for example, the last thing that I've unlocked was a bonus to my strength. And unlocking that literally gives you, just like it shows there, +9 to my strength stat. Very simple, very straightforward. To get to the next node on this thing, I will need to spend 75 of those Sparks of Destruction, the red cubes. So, knowing that this is the next thing I need to unlock, I'm probably going to want to focus on doing missions that give me Sparks of Destruction for my reward, so that I can progress more. And this one's going to give me, or going to require blue. Now notice it also says can be purchased for 35 Sparks of Destruction and 40 of the other Sparks, which are these custom Paladin Sparks that I get by playing the Paladin class and doing stuff with that. I can do that right now. These kind of can be used as a substitute, but there are nodes later on that want these, so I may not want to burn through all of these because they're actually a lot harder to get. So if I wanted to right now, I could unlock this for the cost of 35 of my red cubes, or Sparks of Destruction, and a bunch of my Sparks of Justice, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then again, as you can see here, here are those Sparks. I would get 35 more for doing this mission. I've covered most of the basics to it. There is a bit more than I've mentioned here to the game, actually quite a bit more. But that should give you kind of a basic of how things work. Let's get to the fun stuff, right? I mean, you don't want to just see me sitting around chatting about all the systems and blah blah blah. Let's go out and let's try doing a mission. What do we got here? I'm not a huge PvPer. I'm not going to bother going into a PvP mission. I'm sure you can probably imagine how that goes. But let's do... let's see what we got here. Simon Archipelago. Port Nauri. I could really use doing one of the red missions. That's a bit long, though. Alright, we'll go down here. We will do Port Nauri. Right, here we are. Sea creatures have captured the port, impeding the evacuation of civilians from the Nauri Island. Chase the monsters away so that people can get to safety. Pretty straightforward. Difficulty says hard. Ooh. I hope I'm going to be okay for this. So, here we're doing a mission. Now, I could have been in a squad and started this off in a group, but for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and just pop in here and try to do it solo. So, I will try to show you some of the different classes. Let's start off with the Lightbinder. Now again, I normally play as the Paladin. I haven't progressed very much at all with the Lightbinder and the Cryomancer classes, so I don't have a whole bunch of abilities unlocked. Ouch. I've got a little shield there I can use. It's popping up Lightbinder combat basics for me. Every class has a finishing move. And this thing. There's a depth of field filter on the game that normally isn't too much of a problem, but for some reason it makes all of the pickups look blurry. I'm not quite sure why or how, but yeah. As you can see, the game is largely very action-oriented as opposed to the traditional tab targeting style. I mean, I don't have to actually have a target to start flinging at something. I just kind of have to point in a general direction, and the game does the rest. I can dodge. Not unlimited though. There's a little bar down there at the end of my health and energy bar, and you can see that is charging up. That shows the number of dodges I have. Oh, finisher. So you'll see a little E prompt sometimes, and you can hit E, and it will let you either use a finisher or use an ability that would get you close to a group if you're too far away. That kind of thing. So what does 3 do? Huh, does that. So let's see if I can get this guy down low enough and use a finisher. There you go, that's the finisher for the Lightbinder class. So since we're just taking out a bunch of weaklings, let's take a look at the Cryomancer. I'm gonna just switch to standard outfits. So, clicking. You don't just hold down the click button. You don't just hold down your mouse button to do attacks. Some skills require charging up. Some skills are just a one-off. You click and it fires. Like here's a charging. And I can finish this guy. There is my finishing move as the Cryomancer. These little capsules. Usually the little balls have credits. And the little cubes have items. Ooh, I just got a icy frame. Is it any better? So when you see this little down arrow, it means you've got something that's got higher stats than what you're currently wearing. This is plus 62 stamina as opposed to 29 stamina. Now this one though has a little extra ability. Crystal Shield reduces the duration of control effects affecting the Cryomancer by 33%. Not so great. Not really a big deal. Definitely not enough to keep me from putting this on, which is significantly better. So now what I'll do is I'll come in here and I will disassemble this. And then that goes over here. And I get more enhancement stones. Ooh, strength and luck. That's 18 for each stat. This one gives me 24 for each stat. I will definitely want to put that on. The same exact stats. And then again, I'm going to come over here and disassemble this. There you go. I've got 8. That's almost enough for one of my next upgrades. I believe I needed 9. A lot of the enemies have charge attacks that you can see coming, so it gives you a little bit of a warning to get out of the way like that. Didn't charge that very well. Let's see, what does this do? Nothing useful. How about this one? Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, hello. So over on the upper right, you can see what my quest is for this mission. The thing up above there, it says Gravedigger's Name. That is my story quest, which unfortunately is not part of this mission we're on. Has nothing to do with it. But I can do other missions and other quests to try to work on that storyline. Aha, there's another one here. I wonder if they're all in this port part. Inconspicuous locations. So, clearly there's at least some benefit to exploring around a little bit. But those light blue things that are over there on the Port Nowry mission quest information thingy. Okay. Just fallen a little bit there. Those are submissions, and you will get additional quest rewards for completing those. So it wants me to collect healing orbs and find orbs of mastery. If I do those, I get bonus rewards at the end. If I don't do them, whoop-de-doo, really. This guy is a mini-boss. So, what the heck, I'll go ahead and I'll try fighting him as the Cryomancer. We'll see how this goes. Now, given that I am rather frail, I really don't want this guy to get too close to me. Ooh. And you can see up there, he's got multiple health bars. That's the way that they do stuff in this. If you've got a big boss or really tough enemies, rather than just one really, really long health bar that goes down very, very slowly, everything kind of goes down at the same rate based on the amount of damage you do, but they just will have multiple health bars. got him. Not too bad, really. Another one of these. You may be wondering what those Orbs of Mastery do. As far as I know, nothing. They're just something to pick up in the mission that has given me an extra mission, or extra goal for those. Okay, that's enough with the Cryomancer. Let's pop out the Paladin. Paladin fits my playstyle a lot more, and it's just my preferred class. Paladins rely a lot more on combos when attacking. There's my execution move right there. Or my finisher. You might see down there where it shows all my abilities that every time I hit an enemy, those abilities change up. Meaning that I've got some different skills I can use. Like that one. Or that one. Oh, I better move. And another thing to note is that as a paladin, I get a shield. And I just used the ability that breaks my own shield, so oops. You will be moving around a lot while you're in a fight. At least if you're a paladin, you will be. You will be as well as the other classes, provided you're playing solo. If you've got somebody taking the heat for you, you probably won't have to worry too much about dodging around, except for when the bosses and stuff start using their big abilities. And with a finisher. So I need to destroy eggs. Oh, there's a pack over here. It is important to note that I can't just whip out any of those abilities whenever I want. They do use up my mana, so to speak, down there. As well as that little lightning charge thing you see at the end of my bar. I'm not sure what we call that, but some of my skills use that, and it needs to charge up before I can do it again. I just used it to do that lightning strike, and now it's charging up. Don't want to tick off that second one. Still too close to that water. That damage adds up real fast. So, you may notice these little healing orb things that pop out of the enemies. Those pop out whenever you take down one enemy's bar of health. So this person, or this mob that I'm fighting here, is on her last bar, so she's not gonna pop any more out until she dies. But, you know, when you see an enemy that's got 10 bars of health... There we go. I got rid of her last bar of health, I get one of those little healing orbs. You heal outside of combat as well. But these guys have 4 bars of health. Every time I deplete one of those bars of health, she will drop one of those health orbs. Should see one coming out real soon here. There we go. Not getting many very good hits in on her. There we go. If you're really good at watching your shield and keeping that up and staying out of harm's way, you can actually heal up in some fights as the paladin. Yeah, we'll just take out the whole group at once. Okay, looks like I have gotten all of the eggs. Take a quick peek around, see if there's any more of these orbs of mastery. Not seeing much. No, apparently I can't jump over that. So here is another mid-boss. This is actually one of the tougher fights. I have done this mission before. But this is... Oops, move. That thing hurts if it hits you. But, this is not one boss, but it's actually 2. And there comes the second one. And she puts a shield on the first guy, which is obnoxious, and basically makes him... invulnerable. Fortunately, he doesn't seem to do that lightning attack while he's under the effects of the shield. She's gonna do that. Yep, so she retreats and his shield drops. there she's back again. That blue water goop hurts, so. See that kind of hazy red barrier over there? That means I can't progress until I take these guys out. Okay, sweet. So she ran off. A good hit from that lightning blast of his can take me down almost half of a health bar, so... And unlike these bosses, you only get one health bar. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm taking a lot of damage. This is where I used one of my healing items. Major strategy in this is to basically never let an enemy hit you if you can avoid it. Some of the fights may go on a bit longer because obviously I am not the heavy damage dealer here, but if you can minimize the amount of damage you're taking, you should be able to pull off most of these fights. Ooh, that was a good hit. He's down to his last health bar. And he's gone. Now I gotta wait for her to come back out. There she goes. So, even though I've almost got this done, I still can't be careless here. Nope, and she's gone. What do we get here? Big bunch of credits. That's about it. Let's peek around a bit, see if we find the other Orb of Mastery. Looks like it's not over here. But now you'll notice that that previously red border is no longer red, it's now blue. I can progress through the rest of the area. I'm getting that weird depth of field effect again. Oh, I'm standing under an electromagnet. Like, what is that buzzing sound? Take a peek up here, see if... How you doing there, Emilius? I'm just trying to see if I can find that last orb of mastery. Even as gross as this looks, it's still, like, gorgeously detailed. Everything is. It looks fantastic. And I'm going to actually turn off that depth of field effect. Because I think that's just making everything look kind of strange. Although they still seem to have it. Maybe I need to restart or something for it to affect. But, alright. Sorry about that. All the enemies are a little bit blurry because of the weird depth of field glitch or something. But, don't just stand there and get hurt while you're... Excellent. So, here we are with the final boss for this area. Nemida. And there's like one fish that's kind of pointed awkwardly as it rotates around, but alright. It's a shame that the depth of field is kind of glitched out because really she's pretty cool looking. She unfortunately summons minions, which means I've got to zoom out a little bit so I can make sure I'm taking the fight the right way. Ooh, good hit. She goes again. Ooh. Fortunately, the minions that she summons are none too tough, so... At least these first ones are. Alright, let's use one of my more flashy abilities. Did I get the other one? Looks like it. When she has that shield on her, you can actually break it down, but then you'd just be sitting there with a bunch of minions beating on you that you didn't end up killing, which is a problem that only gets worse. Right, you'll see underneath her health bar when she puts the shield on her. Oh, she didn't put it on her that time. Ooh, now she's changed her tactic. Her tactic. I made a new word on accident. So, you may be thinking, wow, this is a really ridiculously long fight. It would be a lot faster if I had help, but such is the way of soloing. Don't stand in the explosive water puddles. Move. Sweet. Got her. Who wants fish for dinner? Yeah, I thought not. Alright, so there's that. Now I finished off the final boss, which means that the mission is officially over. So that last orb of mastery or whatever, I never did find, so I didn't quite finish that off and get that reward. I think I probably picked up enough healing orbs to finish that part, though. So I might have gotten a small boost to my rewards. Once you hit F to accept your rewards, it will bring up this completion. Yeah. So I got all the healing orbs. I didn't quite get the orbs of mastery. So I got an A, I didn't get an S. But I get all this stuff for reward, and then hit take reward. And it finishes off the map and takes you back to town. So that is how it works. And overall, that is basically Skyforge in a nutshell. There's a whole lot more to it than that. I'm hoping that this at least gives you guys a little bit of a taste as to what you can expect from the game. It is really cool. I love the fact that it's action-oriented combat. I mean, I've seen more than enough of the tab targeting style. It generally just puts me to sleep. So battles are fairly active, fairly dynamic, but again, of course, this being a beta, everything is fairly limited. Let's not forget that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the future with this game, what other content they add in, and it's all so pretty. So that's going to be it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this look at the game. Check it out if you want. I'll have a link to the website in the description below the video. And as always, if you like the video, you can like, comment, or subscribe. Let me know what you think, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.